Hey guys, this is BiXX. Welcome to another Mentoring Monday. Today, I'll talk about the third and the final part of my talk on being vulnerable, how to turn a so-called weakness into a superpower. In part one, I talked about what is vulnerability and being vulnerable in the following three areas: in relationships, in your mind and body, and in the workplace. In part two, I talked about the 5 benefits of being vulnerable. If you've not watched these last 2 videos, check them out and they'll help you after watching this episode. Being vulnerable can really help you, but do you sometimes find yourself unable to be vulnerable? So here are 3 possible causes of when you find yourself avoiding vulnerability. Number 1, you want to be perfect. Perfectionism can be your worst enemy. The last thing you want to do is say or do something that might be misinterpreted. So you say nothing. If you don't have it all figured out, you stay quiet. But you don't have to be perfect. Trust that you'll figure it out. Just get started. Number 2, you don't ask for what you need. People are not mind readers. One of my favorite sayings, as you know, is life belongs to the askers. If you want it, you'll need to ask for it. This goes for all the areas of your life. And number 3, you keep people at arm's length. You've been hurt before, so you play it safe. The lower the risk, the lower the reward. Learn how to be better at choosing. Choose better people in your life. No need to play it safe when you accept accountability from your mistakes and you learn from them. Number 4, you don't share frustrations or successes. If you express frustration, you might be perceived as that constant complainer, the negative Nelly. Or if you share success, you might be perceived as arrogant or bragging. I often see poorly written bragging posts on social media, and I'm so tempted to post brag alert, brag alert. So when I complain to someone, I often preface it with, "You can't fix what you don't know, so I'm telling you this to help you." Or if I'm sharing a success, I often tell a quick story of the hard work behind it, so sharing the story or the success will be more inspirational and not really about bragging. Next, I want to talk about 3 misconceptions about vulnerability. There might be a number of reasons why you seek to avoid it. Number 1, being vulnerable is a sign of weakness. Well, it can be a sign of weakness in war, but in most normal relationships, that's not the case. It is easy to attach human vulnerability to shame or fear and often forget about the benefits, such as belonging, courage, and joy. You find strength when you take the journey from fear to courage. Number 2, I don't share my dirty laundry. You believe that to be vulnerable, you have to share everything with everyone. Quite the contrary. It's critical to know and feel safe when you choose to open up. Only do this with people that you feel strongly about, that you can trust. Remember, the purpose of your vulnerability is to deepen relationships by sharing emotions in thoughtful and intentional ways. Let me repeat that. The purpose of vulnerability is to deepen relationships by sharing emotions in thoughtful and intentional ways. Number 3, I'm the lone wolf. When you think you're the only one that can solve your problems, you end up isolated and alone. Asking for help actually changes how people in your life respond to you. Notice how they respond more openly, honestly, and supportive. They often wait for you to go first, to show vulnerability. Most people want to share relationships with vulnerability, but they often wait for you to go first. I get so much more helpful information from others when I ask for help. New perspectives and ideas that I never thought of. So now I'd like to give you 3 ways where you can be more vulnerable. How can you accept vulnerability as part of your life? Well, acknowledge your emotions. When you experience an emotion, observe it without judgment. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Then decide how will you express or address that particular emotion. As you agree to take the risk to be vulnerable, you'll begin to experience what's on the other side: courage, joy, and more fulfilling relationships. Live with integrity. I've done a separate talk about what you value most in life. Take the time to figure this out and put it in writing. What means the most to you? For example, courage, integrity, honesty, proper closure, building relationships, kindness, and growth. When you figure this out and then you live by it, your whole self aligns. So the more you live according to your values, you'll be able to experience vulnerability and expand your sense of belonging. Practice. Are you ready to step into the space of uncertainty, risk, and exposure? It starts with practice. Take that first step. Ask for what you want. If someone hurts you, have the courage to try sharing your emotions with them at the right time and the right place, face to face. With preparation and practice, your confidence and security will grow. So in summary, are you ready to take the plunge? Harnessing the power of vulnerability allows you to say what you want, ask for what you need, express your emotions, and celebrate your achievements. Each time you do this, you give yourself permission to do it again. You expand that sense of confidence, security, belonging, joy, and growth. With each practice of vulnerability, you're becoming your true and whole self. Does that make sense? Soon, you'll see vulnerability as a strength or a superpower and not a weakness. I hope this topic's helped you. It's a very powerful topic. I can tell you from firsthand experiences, my life is much more fulfilling when practicing vulnerability with the right people. The quality of my relationships, both current and new, are much more fulfilling and sustainable. There is so much more to learn and to experience in this journey, what we call life. Being vulnerable is never ending. So I'll see you again in 2 weeks when I present another very helpful topic that I'll call Zoom Out. This is BiXX signing off. Remember, it's never too late to reinvent yourself and start being vulnerable. Cheers.